have many years of experience of maintaining, owning, and posting on a blog. But I also remember when I first started, it felt really overwhelming. So today I have partnered up with Hostinor, the sponsor of this video, to help you guys on how to start a blog. I will be sharing my wisdom and knowledge as well as theirs to help you get started. Good news! I can save you money by providing you a special discount code if you would like to sign up with Hostinor. So all you have to do is go to hostinor.com/Brianna, click Start Now, pick which plan you want the most. Under your order summary, go to Have a Coupon Code, click here, and enter the code Brianna. Hit the plus sign, and boom! Saved you guys a bunch of money. So the first thing you want to do is determine your blog's niche. This part to me is the hardest step because I would like to blog about absolutely everything that I find interesting. However, maybe that worked in the, I don't know, early to mid 2000s, but these days that is not going to fly. You need a niche if you want people to follow you, find you interesting, and for them to keep coming back. So it can be anything from travel to technology to even coffee, dogs, whatever you want, whatever you find interesting. I have changed my niche many times. I first started out as a fashion blogger when I was in high school, and then as I grew up and got older, I changed to technology, traveling. I think I even had a coding blog at one point. I don't know, I've had so many different blogs. I've had so many different niches. My interests change all the time, my interests, passions, and hobbies. So, you know, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. However, consistency is key, and having a strong, solid niche to me is what makes your blog special and worth looking at. But only you can figure that part out, so just try and brainstorm that out. The second thing is to find a web host. You can use a free platform, a self-hosted one, or a fast and affordable one such as Hostinor. So my advice would be to go with this one because it's a shared server and they have cloud hosting services. And here's why. Because 1, it's easier, and 2, there are reliable server updates that you don't need to manage. It's already done for you. Live support 24/7. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can get support anytime, any day. With a cloud hosting service, you get dedicated resources and IP addresses. The third thing is to register a domain. You can just use a standard domain checker. Just look it up on Google. There's so many out there just to check and see if that website is available. For example, let's say you want a blog about apples. You want to review all the apples in the world. Apple.com is not available, unfortunately. But you can use that domain checker website to see if the website name you want is available. I'm actually currently working on starting a new app and website, and at the moment I'm having a hard time finding the right domain name because I came up with a genius name for our company. However, I'm having a hard time finding a web address that at least has somewhat to do with our company name, so I'm working on that. I don't want to change my name, but I think you should almost always start with what's available rather than like coming up with a name and thinking you can work with it, because I have fallen in love with the name I've come up with for my new site and it's just not really working out. It's causing a huge headache for me. Now, you can always buy domains out there, and sometimes they can be thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands, even millions. Like, you know, Apple.com is not gonna sell you their website for just like a couple $1,000s. Let's be real, they'll never sell it to you. And sometimes they're independently owned and there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, you could probably contact them, but yeah, like I said, use a domain checker. The fourth thing is to set up a blogging platform. And no, bloggers usually don't know a single line of code, so they are not hand coding that website themselves most of the time. Some do. Don't know why you would do that without a blogger platform, especially since blogger platforms make everything so much easier for you. However, I guess it's not impossible to throw in some H1 and paragraph tags on your website, but that sounds really annoying and you need to know how to code for that. So if you are not hand coding it like the majority of us, I would recommend choosing the right CMS for you. CMS stands for Content Management System, by the way. So the first one is WordPress, which is the most popular. The second is Joomla, and it's good for beginners. The third is Drupal. It's much more flexible and for the tech savvy. I am not very proud to say that I used Blogger for way too long. I used Blogger's in-house CMS and woo, it's the worst thing ever. it's impossible to customize and the code breaks all the freaking time. And I would sometimes even hand code some of my own styles because Blogger just wouldn't accept it, and oh, it was just disgusting. I would not recommend it. And another reason why you should use a CMS is because there's so many awesome plugins out there. Like if you want to insert in your Instagram or your Twitter, Facebook, YouTube channel, maybe, I don't know, there's so many plugins out there, like signing up for email subscriptions. You don't need to hand code that yourself. There are plugins out there. There's a lot of free ones. There's some really great paid ones. Just go with a CMS. I would not recommend any other way. The fifth thing is to publish your content and grow. Before you make your very first blog post, at least at the very minimum, have these 3 pages ready. Your About Me/About Us page, your contact page, so your sponsors and fans know where to reach you, and then a sidebar and menu. That's not a page, but that's definitely something you need to try and work out. Like, do you want this huge menu bar with all your different topics, or do you want to keep it more minimal? Up to you. If you post a lot, like multiple times per day, I would highly recommend you organize your blog posts a lot better. For example, I follow a lot of travel blogs, and sometimes I want to plan a trip based on hotels, or sometimes I want to look up airline reviews, or find like a new restaurant I want to try out in this city that I'm traveling to. I almost always use their menu to filter out what exactly I'm looking for. Okay, once you have those 3 things done, then go ahead and write as many blog posts as you can before you make your site live. So make a bunch of drafts, pick your most favorite. You know, like they say with painting and just any creative activity, you have to get all your bad paintings, or in this case, blog posts, out of the way before you find some that you're really proud of. Or maybe you want to make all of them live. The more content, the better, because if a user comes and you just have, 1 to 3 blog posts, they're most likely not going to stick around. However, if you have like 10 to 15 or even more than that, then I think there's a higher chance that they'll stick around and read more if they like your content. If writing is not your forte, like it's not for me, I mean, I'm just okay at it, but there are some phenomenal writers out there. So in the past, especially for a really important blog post, I will often hire someone to write it for me, and then I will change it so that it sounds like my tone. So they're not exactly writing the whole blog post for me, they're just kind of helping me, and then I'll change out things here and there. I'll take out what I like or add more, because I have a hard time kind of piecing a story all together, because I'm not a professional writer, I'm just a blogger. Luckily for you, this can be as cheap as $5 through this site called Fiverr, or if you want to go with someone a little bit more professional, because Fiverr is very, I don't know, there's a lot of very cheap work on there, but I wouldn't say the quality is that good most of the time. It gets the job done, but I would recommend to go through Upwork if you want someone that's a little bit more regular for you, or just higher quality in general, you know? All right, the 6th step is to promote your blog. So you probably have your blog up and running, and now you're like, what now? Well, here are all the various ways on how to promote your blog. One is through social networks. I imagine if you have a blog, you also have some sort of social networking platform, whether it's Facebook with your close colleagues, friends, relatives, or maybe it's your Instagram where, I don't know, you might have a bigger following and usually have more strangers on there, rather, because, Facebook's more personal, Instagram and Twitter are more for strangers, or who knows, maybe you have a really big TikTok following and you want somewhere to divert your traffic. The second way is just through your inner circle. However, I would not necessarily recommend this way because you could possibly annoy the people around you with it. Not everybody is into blogs and, social media and all of that. Half of the people in my inner circle don't even have social media at all. So if I try to promote my blog to them, like in casual conversation, they'll probably get pretty turned off by it and pretty annoyed by me because they chose to stay offline and not really be involved in that world. So I don't want to push that on them. And not only that, even if there are people that are active on social media, I think it's best if you just, say in casual conversation, like people ask you, oh, how's your day going? How's your weekend going? And be like, oh, I'm a blogger, so I make some blog posts. And if, they want to know more, they can ask you, but I would never, well, I guess what I'm trying to say here is never expect your inner circle to go and be huge fans of your blog. I would actually say try and keep those two separate, because to me, my friendships are more important to me than just having a few more clicks on my blog. And then this next way, I think is the best way. I haven't really experimented with it too much because I am not really looking to have a huge blog or anything. I just wanted a way to let